I like it just like it is. You got a lot of hair. Van?
Like we're live on the YouTubes.
If it ain't live on Facebook, is it your fault, Van?
Yeah. It is live on Facebook.
Hey, did Van sound like, was there sarcasm? Was there sarcasm there? Josh, of course you weren't. I don't know, Van. I sensed a little bit of like what I get on to Hayden. Man, we're flying this morning already. All these comments are here. Good Monday morning. If you're on here, do me a favor. You know the drill, Josh. Like, comment, share the stream. And some of you might get your feelings hurt if you're watching this today. If you get your feelings hurt today, go ahead and say something to me. But understand there's an indication that you're not taking personal responsibility with things. So I want to talk about the power of taking responsibility, personal responsibility. And some of the people I might use today is just a prop. Don't take it personal, okay? Because I feel like at 47 years old, I'm still struggling with understanding the power of taking personal responsibility for things, okay? Hey, Chris Clark, good to see you, man. Chris Clark, do you take personal responsibility? So we had our best month of January ever. 24 closings. Starting off, and everybody was a part of this. I want you to understand everybody's included in this. This is a team. Somehow everybody helps. You'd just be surprised at how, even if you feel like you didn't do anything, you did something. It's amazing how the team concept of doing something together works. But we're looking at a target. There's a guy in here that gets paid by hitting targets. Who was the guy that missed the target? Why did you say Van Grafton?
We
all missed the target. But, I'm riding down the road. Me and Van, I like to go eat lunch with Van on Saturdays. Van has moved into my top 3 lunch. He is number 3. But he's moved into my top 3, okay? Yes, I can always do better. We all are a work in progress. So we're driving down the road, and the man that will remain anonymous, he said something that I can't get rid of what he said. Do you know what you said, Van?
I have no idea.
You said, we were talking about missing the number. Who's here? Hey!
No.
So we're driving down the road, and he's like, I just don't know what else I could have done to get us there. Did you say that, Van?
Yes, I did.
What the hell do you mean by that? Tell us what you mean by that. And is that really something you believe, or is it just a slip up in the moment, a moment of weakness?
I mean, it's after giving it serious thought and just thinking, well, a lot of my targets are dependent upon other people's actions at times. Mm-hmm. So it's like I shouldn't be setting targets where I can't fully control it.
I hate to hear that. We got to correct that. And this is something that I've corrected in myself. So I want you to understand the power of taking personal responsibility. What I have found, the reason why, the voodoo thing, okay? I want you to understand this. Whenever you take personal responsibility for whatever that happens, the first thing people struggle with is feeling like, well, why would I do that? I didn't let anybody down.
I did all I could.
I did all I could. I don't know what else I could have done. And I got to thinking about that and how powerless, is that the right word? Mm-hmm. How powerless of a feeling that is. And I want you to think about this as I'm saying it, okay? Because I want this shit to catch. I want it to stick. I want you to really think about how you feel, like Van just said, I don't have any power. I don't have any influence over other people. That is a deep-seated belief that we have. I can't get him to do anything. What is that? What am I saying about me?
You ain't got the power to control it with the outcome.
What is my belief system on a high to a low number? This is something that the reason why I can see this in other people first off is why?
You had it.
Because I'm still a work in progress here. I'm still battling this, okay? I still have a really, really hard time being a big believer myself. So I can see that in other people. So if you're this person and you're saying something like that, how do you really feel about your influence of other people? Low. How do you feel about yourself?
Low.
See, these are indicators. My wife is on here. Hey, if you would, Josh, would you go buy something for my wife today?
Absolutely.
You swear, buy online. Online, okay?
Where?
The Exchange Boutique. Is it .com? Whatever. My wife, I will put it in here. So I didn't understand this until recent, this voodoo. About always taking personal responsibility. Always taking personal responsibility. Whenever you don't do something, even if it's you, I'm taking personal responsibility. You dealing with that contract, if it don't work out, whose fault is this? I can always find a way to point the finger at me. Josh is 19 years old talking to a grown man on a $530,000 house. He's been in the business a year, going on 2 years. If it don't work, whose fault is that?
It's my fault.
I like that. It's my fault. Here's what comes with this attitude, this belief, the way you don't accept it not being your fault. You would be just amazed at the belief and the confidence that comes along with this. When Michael Jordan lost a game, he is so damn good. He is so unreasonable with his talents. Who do you think he blamed for losing that game? Even if he fouled out, even if he got hurt, even if he wasn't the dude that took that last second shot, who's taking that blame in that great man's mind?
He is.
Why?
You feel like he could have done something different for a better outcome.
He didn't believe. He knows it. He knew it. And I didn't understand the way all this thing works. It takes time. Start saying it's my fault. A lot of people struggle with this. But I want you to pay attention to the people that do big things. I ain't talking about the average ones. I'm talking about the people that are accomplishing huge things in the world. The Elon Musk, the Cardones, Warren Buffett. These people have an extraordinary way of believing they can influence any outcome. Did you hear what I said?
Yes. Those people have
I've become so arrogant that I think I can go out and hire anybody to come here and I can teach them how to become a great realtor, a great salesperson. I couldn't have done this 2 years ago.
You didn't believe it?
I didn't believe in me enough. Oh, hell, we tried. They sucked. Shit. I mean, this person can't do it. Look at them. They won't do what I tell them. My position with myself has changed. No, I'm good enough. I'm good enough to get this person from here to there. I believe that. I'm convinced of it. Wasn't there. It was not there very long ago. I did not understand the power of taking personal responsibility. I just started saying it. Then I started looking at it. Then I could always find a way. You know what? If I take personal responsibility, I'm going to look right there in that situation 6 weeks ago. I could have told him this and we could have been right here. Then when you start looking for how could you have accepted personal responsibility, now I'm always looking in the moment. Whenever I walk in here and I don't see something going on, I'm taking personal responsibility. What question might I ask?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? It looks like you ain't doing shit to me. Is that what you're doing? What are you doing, Noah? I go around and I ask everybody because I'm taking personal responsibility. I want those targets to be hit. Blake Duncan, imagine the results if everyone took the same responsibility approach and made the same effort to improve mistakes. I believe we've got a culture here where everybody is doing that. I think for the most part, people are in that beginning phase of taking personal responsibility. They have not seen the magic happen yet. I have. See, I'm talking foreign to some of you. Josh, you're looking at me. I don't know if you're looking at me or what's going on in your brain right now. What are you thinking about what I'm saying? Or are you thinking about something else?
You said everybody's in the beginning stage. I'm just kind of trying to incorporate in my mind, when does the magic start?
Started, buddy.
It's building. I'm not as smart as some of you. I don't catch on to things as quick. It took me a little bit longer. But I think I'm about 4,000 hours into Cardone training. I go back, I train, then I watch, I'm watching you. I'm going back and watching things of Cardone because if you follow Cardone, he says a lot of things that sound good, but you don't really understand what it means at first. There's some things like, okay, then when you go back and you replay it and you watched it and you've experienced some of the things he's talking about, it starts to make sense. It's making sense to me now. This personal responsibility thing. It's so powerful. And if you can accept it, if you can believe in it and you can enforce it every single day, every single action, the magic will happen. If you become very unreasonable about personal responsibility. Unreasonable. An example of unreasonable would be this, Josh. If you go out today and I'm out of town, me and my wife are going to go somewhere soon. If I'm gone and you do something, who am I going to blame?
Yourself.
I'm going to blame me.
Shouldn't have gone out of town.
No, I'm going to blame me because I didn't make it so clear that you understood, or I didn't give you enough information. It's so powerful. But a lot of people, a lot of people get in this right or wrong game. They want to be right. That's really what they want. That ain't my fault. Hey, that's your fault. I don't want to be wrong here. I don't give a shit about being wrong. My wife, if she's still on here, she might disagree with that. But I really don't care about being right. That ain't what I'm looking for. Because me being right, there's no payoff other than an ego. Good job, kid. Good job, self. I'm trying to influence people for them to not make mistakes, for them to have a vision, for them to have a target of something that they're pursuing, laser focused. They're hunting. They're hunting these targets. And what you're going to hear about around here very often, starting now, is we're going to talk about targets. And it's my fault we aren't clear on how targets help you. If I were to tell Noah to get down and do push-ups, but I were to tell you to give you a target, give you a specific number, it's easier for your mind. Like whenever we just throw something at somebody and there's not a target, it's just hard. It's hard to do it because our brain is trying to figure things out. Have you ever noticed that? Like if somebody said, cut my hair. Your brain, you're like, okay, cut my... What do you want? Yeah. Well, see, your brain's asking that. What do you want? So I believe that targets is what changed your life. See, I'm feeding him a little magic just every day. And he's asking me he doesn't know he's getting there, but what is a target Hayden has? Getting up early. Now, why do you think I picked that specific target for Hayden? It's something that's hard for him. Now, I've got things that are hard for me that may not be hard for Hayden. So me having the same target as Hayden may not make sense to me. It needs to be something that's hard for you. Because how do you think you feel when you accomplish something that you've already agreed with yourself, said this is too hard, I can't do this, I can't do it. How do you think you feel once you conquer that?
I feel like you can hold the world up in your palm.
You go, Josh.
That's right.
Like that guy on the statue or whatever, he's holding it up, or however that guy's holding it.
Yeah.
Man, the magic is in becoming so unreasonable with yourself that you can accomplish anything. I really feel, then this is just the arrogance, and sometimes it could be like the guy we need to call today. I just feel so arrogant, and sometimes that arrogance gets me into trouble when I call people. I could fall flat, but I feel like, man, if I can just talk to this guy, we'll change his mind just like that. That is an unreasonable expectation that I have with myself.
Would you say it's an unreasonable belief in yourself?
Yes, it is. It is. Yes, and it was built. It wasn't that. It wasn't just something that I was gifted with, because I struggle believing that I can do things. That's really something. That was my targets I had to hit, was I don't really believe I could do this. Like right now, if we could go to my 8-foot goal and you had some warm-up shots, do you believe you'd be able to hit 4 out of 10 shots from 16 feet?
Easy.
What if you could win 50 grand by doing that?
Let's go make it.
What if you lost 50 grand if you didn't do it? Would you do it?
I think there's no chance I'm gonna lose.
See, what I'm telling you is that's the level that you need to get to with your thinking, with your belief. And it's these little bitty micro targets that I put with you. A little bitty baby target is this: personal responsibility. Well, a lot of people are going to struggle with saying, well, this really wasn't my fault because of how they're going to feel about themselves. I'm wanting you to fight through that. I'm wanting you to not care about that. I'm wanting you to, instead of thinking reasonable about your expectations of yourself, I want you to get to an unreasonable. That means I'm everywhere. I feel like no matter what happens with anybody, hey, that's really my fault. I should have known this. And that ain't just me bullshitting you saying this. This is really how I think because I have become unreasonable with what I expect out of myself. This wasn't something that happened like that. This is a lot of training. This is a lot of failure. This is a lot of being exposed to just seeing what people do that are on a level I want to get to. So everything begins in your mind. Everything begins with something that you need to put as a target. I become clear on that. Targets change you. Targets improve you. Targets motivate you. Targets, they add creativity. So today when we get off here, we're about to shut it down, Van. You need to create a target. Everybody needs targets. If there's not a clear target, it's like me sitting now, cut this. There's got to be targets. What? About what? What are you laughing about?
The analogy, hey, just sitting down, hey, cut my hair.
Feed
Do
me.
your thing.
Feed me.
Yeah.
I mean, I want you to think about the brain needs a target. You need a target. Stretch yourself. Everybody, have a great day.